A very good evening to you. Thanks for joining us on the Tuesday edition of the show. I'm Yemi Adeba. Well, of course, some will say the Eagle has landed, and that's the case with the Super Eagles. That's a piece of breaking news we're giving to you on the show tonight. The Super Eagles of Nigeria have a new coach. He's Eric Chelle. He joins from one Eagle to another Eagle. So I will be talking about that. Of course, it will dominate our conversation on the show tonight. And so we'll also be looking at a lot of things happening, talking about the Carabao Cup, talking about the CAF Confederation Cup, and a whole lot more, all for you on the show tonight. It's a two-man show. My colleague, Austin Okonakwan, is suited and ready as we take you along on this ride.
What a greetings to you, Yemi, and of course, everyone joining us on the show tonight. Always an action-packed sort of sports. Yes, just before we got on the show, the Nigerian Football Federation announced the signing of former Mali coach Eric Chelle. Yemi, it's almost shocking, but hey, this is football where anything can happen. I wouldn't have thought that the NFF would go for such an appointment, but I'm sure when we get into the analysis, we'll understand what the NFF wants to do with this appointments, and of course the objective of qualifying for the World Cup, the CHAN, so much. But here we are.
All right, here we are. I have somebody in the studio who seems to agree with Austin even before being introduced. K. Idris joins us on the show tonight. K. Idris, great to see you. Thanks for finding time to be with us on the show. I think I should still say Happy New Year to you. And again, thanks for joining us, and feel free to dive straight into the piece of breaking news.
Good to be here in another new year. Happy New Year to Austin. Also yourself, Cecilia at Appoints. We'll be on the show together. I think this has already gotten reactions from Nigerians already. It's just seconds announcement.
Social media is on fire.
It's buzzing at the moment. And I think the question people are asking is, after all our search, since the Guava has been stepping in as the makeshift coach for the Super Eagles, this is what you settle for. But maybe the NFF listened also to the yearnings of Nigerians, probably even journalists, sport reporters, saying for every time they bring in a new coach, one question that keeps ringing is, does these people know what it means to coach an African team? Do they have that in their CV? Mm-hmm. Do they know the magnitude of the AFCON? Mm-hmm. Probably Eric Chelle understands that, and that's why having been coached Mali at the AFCON
and leaving Mali straight away.
Exactly, straight to the Super Eagles.
But the question on everyone's lips, maybe I should answer that. Go to Austin, then go to you. Before we talk about Chelle, someone was at the helm. There was an interim manager going for a coach. Is that an indication that there was no trust in the interim arrangement? Yeah. In fact, it sounds like a question too easy to answer, but I feel that's where we should start. Let me go to Austin. It looks like whatever was happening, the new manager bounce, the slight turn around. There was no confidence that the people at the helm could secure us that ticket, and this is why this is happening. Even though the conversation about the new coach cooled off at some point, and this just came up, that will mean there was no confidence in the setup. I don't know if you agree with that.
But with the appointment of Chelle, you start asking questions like, why didn't they believe in what we had back home? Why couldn't they give them the sort of support that is needed? Because you're giving this job to this man, and he understands that you're in a very dangerous situation, but he wants to take it because it's good for his resume. So I don't understand where we're coming from with not having confidence with the likes of Austin Eguavoin. I will stay with Austin Eguavoin with this decision. I'll stay with him, for a lot of reasons, particularly because he knows the team. He's the football director. Eric, we get into the mix now, and we need to navigate, We saw him at the AFCON. It was pretty decent. But you could tell that this is a young manager who wants coaching experience, who wants success. That's why you could see that a lot of times he was beating himself, when Mali wasn't winning. Mm-hmm. So I think this confidence we're talking about, the NFF just needed, and that was what they needed to do, give a vote of confidence to our indigenous coaches, give them the sort of support I've seen the likes of Senegal, Cote d'Ivoire, And even to an extent, Ghana give to their coaches. Yes, you might not win with them, but you will learn. I don't want to be pessimistic, but I struggle to see how this guy will, get into it, manage the NFF, manage the ego in the Super Eagles, manage this precarious situation that we find ourselves in. He's 47. Yes, that might not mean anything, but there's just so much when you are the coach of a big team in Africa. No disrespect to the Eagles of Mali, but we know that for countries like Ghana, Nigeria, Cameroon, to an extent South Africa, if you want to coach those teams, you must also understand the politics because you're coming to manage the Football Federation. So, Yemi, with the confidence, I don't see why they couldn't give them that same level of confidence. The confidence you've used to make this appointment, I will triple that confidence and work with our coaches internally. But as I said, we're here now. Let's see what's the program from the NFF. What sort of support are they going to give to this man? Because easy peasy, the man has got excuses on ground already just in case he fails. But we'll see. We'll see.
As far as I'm concerned, what's the worst that could happen if you had left to go front? The worst that could have happened is that we won't qualify for the. I mean, let's just put everything on it. That's the worst that could have happened.
We'll save money. We will save money.
That's where I'm going. At some point, it's not even about us in the Guavon. At some point, I think Sunday Listen said in one of the interviews that I watched, you have to, at some point, sink or swim with a Nigerian coach, go with him to the point that we can start winning teams. That's the only way to go. But this to me, let's not jump the gun. Like you said, a lot of things will still happen. We'll get explanation. But Idris, let's talk about the resume. Also talk about it. A freshman of African descent. Yeah. The memories I had of him when they were pouring water on his head at the Nations Cup.
Exact situation.
When this just turned around all of a sudden, for Mali, probably has exposure. I mean, done some things on the foreign scene. I'm not arguing against competence here, but I'm with Austin on the issue of timing.
Number one, there is nothing special in his resume.
First off, let's clear that.
Yes, Austin said, coming from Mali, the Malian team to come and coach Nigerian Super Eagles, no basis of comparison. No disrespect to the Eagles of Mali. There is no basis. Probably if you're coming from Cameroon, from Ghana, from South Africa in recent time, we can say, okay, the pressure. Maybe. The Super Eagles is the biggest footballing franchise in Africa. I don't care whatever Egypt had achieved or whatever, Ghana is achieving.
Austin said the coach is coming, and that's the painful part for me. The coach is already coming with an excuse in the back.
He would.
And there's nothing to say. If he doesn't qualify, well, they've ruined it before
he knows the kind of job he's getting. These are jobs that either makes your career or mars it. The Nigerian Super Eagles, yes, in his resume it will be there that he coached the Nigerian Super Eagles, but he can go from there to a very deep low if he doesn't do well.
I think it's a win-win situation
for him, for Charlie,
not for us.
Yeah, you can say it's a win-win situation for him also. It depends on how it all ends. Because I tilt towards Austin saying this doesn't look like it will end well. But this is the point where we'll look at all other things that we've questioned. We've questioned ages of our coaches in the past, especially when they are foreign. All right. What's your age? Where are you coming from? I think maybe Chelle has a bit of that on his side.
Let's try not to get emotional. Let's go to Austin. We're just trying to unpack. I mean, little is known now about some of these things. And it brings me to some of the things you always say about communication. I mean, only a few hours ago we were listening to the NFF president talking about, I mean, it's like, what's the right word now? It's like a jolt. I mean, out of nowhere. I mean, just when we thought the conversation was cool enough, then this comes. But again, he said, maybe with proper communication, this could have settled properly. But now it's everything, the timing, the information, placing them on the wrong foot, all of those is, I mean, where do we go from here? A decision has been made. There's no going back. But where do we go from here?
We'll play football, Yemi. And we'll try to qualify for the World Cup with this new manager. We'll also try to see if we can put together a good team that will, impress at the AFCON. But as I've said, the NFF needs to come explain, their reason for this appointment. You have done it. There's nothing I can do. I just hope that we're not going to start seeing and hearing all of the shenanigans that happened with the last appointment that didn't work. I just hope that they've done everything right. And as I've said, earlier, I would have put this sort of confidence that you've had now with this 47-year-old coach that didn't do so well, in my own opinion, than what we did at the last AFCON. I will, the resources that we'll put into bringing this guy, would have put it into our own coaching and try to see ways that will develop our coaches. We have seen with Coach Daniel Ogumadede and Remo Stars and the Chan and Fidelis Ilechukwu that we've got the qualities, just the support.
Invest in those guys.
You know what I'm saying? I would say these things all day, every day, but we all know that some people have special interest in appointing foreign managers, and that's what I'm saying. They need to come explain to the people why they're making this sort of decision, because I've said it that if you go from Raw to Pizarro and now you're going to this, then it means that there was never a long-term plan for the senior men's national team, So, Yemi, with your permission, can we drop this, get into the conversation? Our guest is waiting, so we just move on with the show.
All right, let's move on. Permission granted.
Okay, let's get on with the show now. Talk about what everyone is talking about before this news of disappointment of the new Super Eagles coach. Brown Ideye was part of the Super Eagles team that won the AFCON in 2013. We loved it so much when he said, hey, he's coming back into the league to play with Enyimba. And he did just that. And in a game that Enyimba really needed to win, there is a trending video of this former Super Eagles player giving these players in Enyimba some motivational talk. He got into the field and led by example. Let's go to Aba in Abia State. Brown Ideye is standing by to speak to us on the show. Good evening, legend. Yes, you have attained that status. Good to have you on Sports Tonight.
Yeah, thank you very much for having me.
Awesome, fantastic. Let's talk about what motivated you to come back, to give back to football in Nigeria.
For me, I would say first I would say thanks to God. Secondly, I would say the love of the game. I have a lot of people to thank when it comes to this move. I have a person like Kano Wankwo. I have Ahmed Musa, who they always talk to me about the league. They let me know that the league is a safe place. I'll have fun playing, and I'm having fun.
I could tell, and you got into Enyimba at a time that they really needed a messiah. It's the coming of Brown Ideye, the calling of the messiah, because you brought something special in that game against Black Bulls.
I can't say I'm a messiah, but I think I came in the right time. The team need to score goals and the team need to perform in every game. So me coming to the team, signing for them is it's a boost to the team, and I'm happy to be here with the team.
Fantastic. Before I hand you over to my colleague in Lagos, let's talk about what you've seen so far. I know you've played one league game and one CAF Confederation Cup game. What is it in your assessment? Is there value with league football in Nigeria?
There is. So we all have to put our hands together to make sure we uplift the league. For me, I feel like we still have a lot to do when it comes to uplifting the league. And secondly, we have to support each other and make sure that we put the league where it's supposed to be, which is providing the good facilities, providing the good stadium, the atmosphere, and the fans who start trooping in to watch the players.
Brown Ideye, thanks for joining us. Yemi from Lagos here.
Thank you.
Let me just throw this in. Just a few questions before I hand you over back to my colleague. I want to ask the feeling. You've played here before you traveled abroad, then you're back. How did it feel? Comparing how you felt when you were playing here and now you've gone all over the world, you've won things with the Super Eagles, many exploits in your professional career, and you're filing out with the Enyimba. I mean, the feeling, can you just compare both?
Yeah, the level is not the same. The level is not the same, but football speak one language. So it's football. Football is football everywhere. So for me, I think it's there's no more difference when it comes to the league. For me, I'll say the facilities is different, the stadiums are different, and the fans too. So like I said, we just have to do our best and uplift the league and support the league and make sure that we put all the facilities on ground for the league to be good.
All right, let me ask you a funny question. For us journalists, when somebody stops getting invited for the Super Eagles, we start saying things like former Super Eagles player. But we've learned that if somebody is still playing football and they're doing well, they could get invited. So let me just put it to you. Now you're scoring for Enyimba. People are seeing you still got the moves, you got the legs. What if something happens and I say, okay, Brown, do you still want to play for the Super Eagles? What would the answer be?
For sure, I'll jump on it because I've not retired. I'm not retired from international football. So why not? I love my country so much, and if I've been called up to represent my country, for sure I'm going to honor it.
All right. One more from me before I yield back to my colleague Austin. Let's come to the present now. It's not looking good for him, but truth has to be said. 4 points from 4 matches. How confident are you that the Aba Elephants can make it to the next round of this competition, the CAF Competition Cup?
I believe that it's possible. In football, you can't really write off any team. Yes, we had a very rough start. I believe if we put ourselves together like we did in the last game, I believe we can win our last 2 games, which I know that could put us in a good place in the group.
Fantastic. Let's talk about this goal that I'm watching now. You waited for that pass. You're in the right position, took it from Atule, 1 touch to take out the goalkeeper, and then you finished it off so well. Before you got that ball, did you make up your mind what you were going to do with it?
No. At first I want to control with my right foot and my right foot and shoot with my left foot. So immediately I controlled the ball, I saw the keeper rushing out, so I have to go around him. That's the only option I have at that moment.
And I saw your face. What sort of feeling was it for you when the players were rushing to you? Because you were the motivational speaker in that dressing room, and you now put words into action. What was the feeling, Brown?
It was amazing. It's undescribable. I believe that a lot of people expected me to do that, which is scoring goals for Enyimba. And in the Champions League, I'm very happy. And words can't describe how I felt after I saw the ball in the back of the net.
I saw it, and I was like, yeah, this guy has proven to us once again that class is permanent. Brown, Ideye, what would be the ultimate experience for you with Enyimba?
For me, if we can win the league, I think that's my ultimate goal. By the grace of God, if we can win the league, I think that's something big for me.
You really need a lot of grace, because if you take a look at the league table now,
it's football. Everything is possible. Everything is possible in football. I have a strong belief that up to the last minute, I believe that things can change. So I still believe till the last minute.
Do you have that sort of faith in the CAF Confederation Cup? Despite the win against Black Bulls, Enyimba is still at the bottom of the table, but tied on same points with Black Bulls. Next game is against Al Masry. What's the mood in the team? Can you guys beat Al Masry?
We know how important this last 2 games is with the team. Like I said, we just have to win the last 2 games. It might not be possible. It might be possible, but we just have to call all out to make sure that we know that we need 6 points. We have to make sure we get that 6 points, and give everything.
Awesome. Before I let you go, there's a new coach for the Super Eagles. I'm sure you heard us talk about it. With the current situation on the team, is it a coaching problem, or is it about players' performance?
To be honest with you, I really can't say much about the team, because from what I've been hearing from friends and from family members, I don't really think that we have a huge problem in that team. We have stars of players in the team, and they perform week in, week out in their club side. So I don't think we have huge problem in the team. We just have to get things done right. For me, it doesn't really matter if anybody that they bring to manage the team. For me, the players have to, they have to play and stand out performance every game and show to the world that we are Super Eagles and we can win any game or any country we are playing against.
That's a good place to leave it. Brown Ideye, thank you so much. We're so proud of you for coming back to the league. I called you in a very short time and you picked. Please, I'll call you again. Pick up. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
So that's it, former Super Eagles player. No, not former. He hasn't retired. Super Eagles player. I'm now playing for Enyimba. Brown Ideye is speaking to us from Aba. Thank you so much. Let's go on this quick. When we come back, Kehinde Idris will jump on some of the things Ideye talked about. Don't go anywhere. Stay. Welcome back, Sports Tonight on Channels Television. In case you missed it, the Nigeria Football Federation, they've announced a new coach for the Super Eagles, the senior men's national team. He's the former coach of Mali, Eric Chelle. The Nigeria Football Federation are yet to give us proper details of this appointment, but that's the news out there for you to use. The Nigeria Football Federation, they've appointed former coach of Mali, Eric Chelle, as the new coach of the Super Eagles. Just before we went on that break, we're speaking to Brown Ideye. He plays for Enyimba now. Is an absolute fantastic player, and been there, done that, played in the English Premier League, played in Russia, and has brought his experience back to the Nigeria Premier Football League. Kehinde Idris, you listened to him, and I'm sure he said a lot of things that you agree with.
Yeah, I totally do agree with his beliefs. There is something about exposure. There is something about experience. There is something about traveling. It opens you to seeing things from a lot of perspective. And if you listen carefully, objectively to what Brown Ideye said on every topic or every question is being asked, it's coming with a lot of perspective combed into one. When we're talking about the group, he said, yes, when it comes to football, up until the final minute of every game, you cannot say nothing is impossible. And especially the games have not started. So what was seen with Enyimba is the fact that you still have mathematical chance of qualifying. This is Al Masry, this is Zamalek, it's 11 against 11. We go in there, do what we know how to do, or do what we can do, get all points, and then move on. We talked about the dire situation the Super Eagles find themselves. He said, as much as I'm not close to the team, the filters, the stories, things I'm hearing from friends and family is what all of us know. The Super Eagles have got a fantastic team when it comes to the individuals. Look at, all I know is being sorted after by everybody. Alex Iwobi is doing well. Lukman, Osime, Taiwo Awoniyi, Sadiq Umar. All of these names you keep mentioning, they are people who almost are super regulars in their clubs every day. Why can't we come together and do so well? Hey, all he's talking about that he didn't pinpoint is the fact that we do things right, wholesomely, right from the administrative level up until the guys who play the football on the pitch. And then, the man, talked about being invited. If he's not retired, you can't call him former, because if he gets invited today, just like Rabiu Ali at 34, got invited for the CHAN. So if maybe some 5 years ago we're calling Rabiu Ali former CHAN player or former Super Eagles B player, then by now we are wrong, because he just got invited again. So I think the man is objective, and yes, this is the difference between those who went out and those who are still here. I'm not saying there are no fantastic players or fantastically minded players in the league, but there is just something about traveling the world. It gives you something additional.
Yeah, exposure. Just in one word. All right, let's talk about Enyimba and looking at, we'll probably get to the Super Eagles matter in a bit if maybe Austin wants to take us there. We'll listen to one of the officials. But first, let's take a look at the results and, of course, what it looks like in the group that the Aba Elephants find themselves, it's not looking good. We must be honest. So I'll just go across now in a bit. I'll just quickly go across and show you just a reality check for what is happening to our own dear Enyimba. Also, you remember when we were talking about this double header against Black Bulls Maputo, we were saying Enyimba needs to get at least 4 points. And it didn't happen. It didn't happen. These guys, with what they've done with Enyimba, they are not whipping boys. And it might be difficult to get 10 points. 10 points is your safety net. But it doesn't look like Enyimba will be able to get 10 points. But anything can happen in football. So this is where we are in Group D. Of course, the Aba Elephants and Enyimba hammered Black Bulls, a revenge for what happened a few weeks back. Al-Masri and Zamalek cancelled each other out. 2 Egyptian clubs. It was goalless. I hope they're not playing friendly games in that way. but here we are. Zamalek leading the way. You could almost say that they've crossed the finish line, but anything can happen in football. Followed closely by Al-Masri, Black Bulls, Maputo, and Enyimba. Mathematically, if Enyimba wins the 2 matches, with the way it looks here, because the 2 matches they will be playing is against the top 2 teams. So it will dent the top 2 teams. But that's mathematics. It's not reality. If you cannot beat a team that came here, what's the guarantee that you'll beat them when you travel? That's... So maybe 3 out of 6. 3 out of 6 plus 4. My head is already banging. I'm using calculators. but let me hear what you have to say. Black Bulls didn't do us any favor, and rightly so. It's sports. May the best man win. They didn't do us any favor, and a difficult task has become harder.
Yeah. We said it right after that 3-0 defeat in Maputo. I said Enyimba made it very difficult for themselves. Now, when they were playing that game in Uyo, at halftime it was 2-1, and I went on my socials, and I said Enyimba needs to score 2 more goals so that they can cancel that deficit from Maputo. And I'm so glad they won 4-1. Now, I watched the game between Zamalek and Al-Masri. Zamalek really wanted to win that game. Remember, they were the away team. In the 85th minute, they thought they had even won it, but it was a goal line clearance that saved Al-Masri. Now, it tells you that group can get as competitive as can be. Sure. But the only way Enyimba can give themselves some relevance. Now, with this win against our Black Bulls, they give themselves a glimmer of hope. They need to beat Al-Masri in their next game. And as you said, be on the other side, fasting and praying that Black Bulls don't create any sort of upset against Zamalek. So they beat Al-Masri and then win their next game. I think they're in the same situation as the Super Eagles. They just need to win their games and ignore whatever is happening with the other teams. It's rather unfortunate that after 4 matches that they can only brag 4 points. But look, as Brown Ideye said, this is football where anything can happen. But when it has to do with short competitions as this, home and away, the least you can do for yourself is win your home matches, So, it's tough. But let's see. Let's see what they can do in their next game. There's a new spark now. Coach Stanley Guma is experienced in the continent with football. Brown Ideye comes with a lot of experience on the football field and is also charismatic. So there's a mental shift now in Enyimba. They need to prove that even if they don't qualify, end it properly, because you can now carry that momentum into the MPFL.
Yeah.
And see how you can make the impossible happen.
All right. So let's move away from the CAF Confederation Cup and talk about the African Nations Championship. 26 players already invited will be on their way to the tournament to be hosted by Kenya, Tanzania, and Uganda. Let's quickly take a look at the list of players available to the coaches of the Super Eagles Team B. That we'll talk some more on this. The defenders, Sadiq Ismail, Waliu Ojetoye, Umar Obo Taiwo Abdurrafiu plays for Rivers United. Unduka Harrison Jr., Victor Collins, Ifeanyi Oyebuchi, Stephen Manyo, Abiam Nelson, Afis Bankole plays for Smart FC. These are the invited players. They're currently camping in Ikene Remo for the competition. These are the defenders. Let's see if we can look at the forward. Anas Yusuf, Emmanuel Ogbole, Adamu Abubakar, Sikiru Alibi, well known in the domestic scene. Tebitokwe Vincent for Plateau United, Samuel Ayoride, 3SC, and Sunday Megwo plays for Abia Warriors. These are the forwards. Let's see if you can see the goalkeepers and midfielders quickly. But this is what we have. Henry Zomena, Kayode Bankole, Badmos Badamosi, the three goalkeepers in the 26-man list of players invited for the competition. Midfielders, Jide Fatoku, Rabi Ali, the ageless warhorse, invited. Xavier Isaac of Rangers International, Musa Zayat of El Kanemi Warriors, Papa Daniel Mustafa plays for Niger Tornado, Kazim Ogunleye, Rangers International. Okay, Idris, as quickly as you can, there's nobody that will always be pleased with the list. You will always say there's one person that should be there that is not there. But I think what I'm hearing from a lot of people is that there's something different this time.
Yeah.
It seems we are using the best we have.
Yeah.
You agree?
Yes, completely. As a sport writer, journalist, trust me, this is a very, very strong squad. Yes, we can make arguments for
Don't we do that in the past?
No.
Really?
Yes. In the past, I think we've had cases where
the best are not on the field.
Yes, we even feel that where did they select these players from? It felt like, you, and that's a... But this squad, as much as we can make case for some players who are not here, you cannot question the players who are here.
Squad.
In the forward, you have about 3-4 players there who are in the top 10 highest goal scorer in the MPFL right now.
Currently.
Like the Megwo, Anas Yusuf, and all of that. So what am I saying? That we looked at the best in different departments and selected them. The Kayode Bankole of Remo Stars, one of the finest goalkeeper we have in Nigeria, probably in Africa today, if he gets the kind of exposure other keepers get. These are some strong squad. And trust me, Nigerians who are beginning to follow the league religiously knows a lot of these names. Now, I'm not talking of you and I who sleep, eat, wake sport. I'm talking of those who do their regular job but follow the Nigerian league through you, through myself, now know that, oh, this player, I heard them score last week, I heard them score this week, I heard them defend so well, I heard this goalkeeper had a great save, or is part of the, highest clean sheet goalkeeper in the league, is in this chanting. And I think they believe, as much as I believe, that this squad is a very strong one, well selected, probably with Fidelis Ilechukwu, Ogumodede, that's Ijabol, assisting Austin Eguavon. I think they've done a fantastic job. And I hope that this team would deliver something no Chan team has ever delivered, because they seem like a team that was carefully selected. Yeah. I want to see them bring glory.
All right. So let's quickly move on. Talk about the details. The draws will be held on January 15, as you can see on the screen. January 15 in Nairobi, Kenya, 700 hours GMT is when the draws will be held. All right, so that's that for the Chan Eagles. Let's quickly move on and talk about Sadiq Umar joining Valencia and talking about the dreams that he has, what he wants to achieve. Let's quickly listen to Sadiq Umar. We'll come back to, look at what is happening currently in England with the Carabao Cup and all the other things happening in the English Premier League. Let's listen to Super Eagles forward Sadiq Umar.
I see, to be honest, Valencia in the situation they are now is not the normal position that Valencia used to be. But with the hunger they have recently, like you see yesterday, they show it. But the team was unlucky to go with any points. And I'm convinced that Valencia will be back to the position they deserve. Yeah, the first time that we spoke, I already know Valencia is one of the most important clubs in Spain, and like I said, I see Valencia are in hunger and same position like me, and I have no doubt. I just want to come. Yeah, I spoke with the coach, and he explained to me what they need, and he shows me like everyone here is ready to fight, and he hoped me to. I came here to fight, and yes, about my mission. My mission is to come here and fight for Valencia, and the first target is for Valencia to be in the position, me together with my teammates, and after that, everything will come. Individual is good, but first of all, I have to think about the team, and that's my first goal.
All right, Sadiq Umar sharing his thoughts. Following in the footstep of another Nigerian, Sunday Stephen, who played many years ago with the likes of Ruben Baraja and those top Valencia players at that time. All right, let me yield to Austin. A lot is happening in the English Premier League, and some things are currently happening in the Carabao Cup. Austin has been furiously refreshing his tab to give us the live score. So, I mean, Austin, take it away. What's happening? Arsenal, Newcastle, what is happening? And what's the news in England with some of the players wanting to leave their clubs?
I do not have good news for Arsenal fans. At the moment in the AFL Cup, it's Arsenal 0, Newcastle 1. Gabriel Martinelli with a clear chance at goal. He struck it so hard, and the woodwork saved Newcastle. On the other end, Alexander Isak with a chance, and then he scored. So Newcastle lead at the Emirates, but Arsenal seems to be having some good time with the ball possession. They just need to find ways to put it at the back of the net. So yes, Newcastle, they've said they want to win this game. They believe that they can get to the final and end that trophy drought in the club. Let's see what this game will turn out to be with Arsenal. But at the moment, it's Newcastle, Arsenal 0, Newcastle 1.
All right, let's talk about Arne Slot, the Liverpool manager. He's been talking, and of course, his side will be in action tomorrow. So what's the news? He's had to defend some of his players, but particularly Trent Alexander-Arnold.
You know, I said it at Liverpool, they're doing something good. I do not know why they left this contract issue to this point. Remember, I think last month, the Mo Salah issue came out a bit when he granted that interview and said nobody from the club had spoken to him. I know Real Madrid wants Trent, but Trent should be careful. I think he should stay with Liverpool. There's something beautiful going on with the club. They're getting a good blend. Arne Slot seems to be doing good with his philosophy, with his style of play, and the players are level-headed. Everybody seems to be contributing their part, and it looks like Liverpool, they are the team to beat, you know, despite what happened in their last game against Manchester United. But if they need to find a way, you know, it's either Trent stays or it goes, whatever happens, they will still get to play football, and it is Liverpool. Now, let's listen to Arne Slot. I love the way he handles his press conferences, how he tells everyone, look, this is football, anything can happen, and we're taking it one step at a time. Let's listen to him.
I think we were all disappointed, not only Trent, we were all disappointed by the way we played. First of all about the result. And parts of the game we could be quite satisfied with. Other parts of our game we weren't completely happy with. So that was not only Trent, there were more things in the game that we could have done better. Trent didn't play his best game, I said it already. But that's not for the first time in his life. I think he didn't play the best game of his career. He's played so many games well for this club. I spoke to him before the game, and then I already said to everyone, maybe you were not there, things I talked to him about I do not share over here. But it's normal that you talk to players always, and in this situation it wasn't his best game, so there were things I had to show him which he has to improve. And that's what you always do after every game. Sometimes you show them how well they did, mostly when it comes to work rate. So they don't have to say their brilliant 80-yard pass, because that they know. And sometimes you have to show them what they can improve. But I don't only did this with Trent.
So that's Liverpool manager and Slot, talking about the current situation in the team. Kind of, Idris, I'll get you to, make comments as regards what he talked about. But let's listen to Nuno Espirito Santos. What a story he's doing. He's having a great time with Nottingham Forest. 6 straight wins for the Reds in the Premier League. The last time they achieved that was in 1966/1967 season. And we're super excited. I've got 2 Nigerians contributing to the success at the City Ground, Taiwo Awuni and Ola Aina. Let's listen to Nuno, and I will kindly Idris to take it.
We cannot ignore how tough the game was for the boys. I think we started really well. We score early, which makes a big difference when you play, especially away from home. That you know that your opponent is going to react, is going to come on the front foot and start strong. But overall, I think was a good performance. And again, the hard work, the running, the adjust, defending the box when it was necessary. Mats. Incredible saves to kept us on the game, but this is how we play. We know that we're gonna suffer. We know that we must stick to our tasks. But then when we get the ball, we know that we have talent, we have speed, and we have goal scorers. So we have to keep on going.
Nottingham Forest manager Nuno Espirito Santo commending his players. Who wouldn't? Kende Idris. Yeah. This Nottingham Forest team, the more you look, the less you see.
The less you see, trust me. And all of the players are getting all the flowers they should get, rightfully so. Like Nuno said, they know they come to games to suffer. Not suffer like, you just want to bag in goals and all of that. They come, put in sweat, blood, put all of the hard work and get points away. In some cases, just point. But it's been a fantastic run for Nottingham Forest. Trust me, if nobody pats them on the back, they should pat each other on the back. And maybe Nuno Espirito Santo, with his touch, is another thing we should be talking about, when it comes to this team. Sometimes you have the best players. You just need a gaffer that can set them up the right way. And I think Nuno had done a great job. Maybe this speaks to how the setup in Tottenham is, because he did a great job at Wolves before moving to Tottenham, and then he is now with Nottingham Forest. So Nuno with his boys, fantastic. Trust me, if at the end of the season they continue this run, they should be the best team in the league this season. They were never given any chance. They were supposed to be battling relegation, but here we are. We're talking of continental. Even if it doesn't happen, I think they've done a good run. And like you said, we have 2 Nigerians, which makes us proud as Nigerians that they are in this battle all the way, especially one who's super regular. And for Slot, I think he's a fantastic man. English Premier League, especially the presser, finds a way to ruffle your feather, but he's been cool. He's been chilled. He takes his time. I think he has read, watched, and understand what is to come or what is to happen, and he's taking it in good stride, game after game, situation after situation. And look at the biggest situation they've had this season, Mo Salah, the interview. It was so cool about it, and they glide on from there. Liverpool didn't feel any division, disjointed. It felt like nothing ever happened. And now we're talking Alexander-Arnold. Trust me, Alexander is so big, but it's nothing compared to Mo Salah in Liverpool today. So if you as a gaffer, as a coach, can handle the players in that Mo Salah situation, then Trent is a little issue. So I think they will continue the good run. Liverpool has lost just 2 games in this entire season. All right. Just 2 games. All right. In any competition. That's how good they are.
Since Kanye Idris is waxing lyrical about Liverpool, let's show you what it looks like under the table. I'm going to go across now. It's going to be our parting shot. And, of course, of significance is the position that Nottingham Forest currently occupy on the table. Surprise, surprise, after 20 matches, if anybody had told you this, you wouldn't have believed. Yes. After 20 matches, Nottingham Forest occupy the top position with 40 points, and Arsenal just ahead, maybe on goal difference. And, of course, the Gunners are in second position. Chelsea also punching above their weight because nobody expected them to be here. But Liverpool currently leading the way, 46 points with a game in hand. But I must say, a game in hand is nothing until you win that game. Parting shot, Kehinde Idris. Liverpool will triumph Tottenham for size. 10 seconds. What do you think will happen?
I think I'll stick my smart money with Liverpool. I think so. Liverpool have been fantastic this season. They find a way.
On two legs, who gets it?
I'll go with Liverpool.
Arsenal, Newcastle, 2 legs. Who gets it?
I think this one has a little sentiment. I think, wow, this is hard.
Especially now that they are trailing.
Yeah, this is harder than the Tottenham Liverpool situation. I think I'll sit on the fence.
Okay, Kehinde Idris on the sit on the fence. All right. That's how much time could allow us do on the show. Let me just go to Austin as we prepare to wrap things up. Tell us what is happening, and let's sign off before we get thrown out of the studio.
We're approaching halftime in that game between Arsenal and Newcastle in the EFL Cup. 3 minutes of added time. The Gunners still pushing, trying to see if they can level up before the break. I think it's important they do just that. But at the moment, it's still Arsenal 0, Newcastle 1. It was Alexander Isak that finished it off so well in the box to give the Magpies the lead. That's it. That's the show in London. I'm Austin Okonakman. In everything you do, remember to keep talking sports. Bye for now.
All right, he's a wrap here in Lagos as well. But before we go, I want to thank Idris for his time. Yep. As usual, the conversation never ends. We take it out of the studio. Thank you very much. Hopefully, we'll do this again some other time.
So fantastic. Your show, Brownie Day. Shout out to you.
All right. We're going to leave you with highlights, tennis highlights from the Auckland Classic. Enjoy that. You see us again tomorrow. Bye-bye now. I'm Yemi Adebayo.